Hello, and welcome to another episode of Better Together, the Work Skills Foundation podcast. I'm Julie Smith. I'm the development director for the foundation, and today my guest is Brandon Krugh, one of our board members, loyal supporter, donor, volunteer, kind of an all-around good guy. So welcome, Brandon.
Thanks, Julie. Quite the introduction there. I'll take it.
Okay. And for those who follow us, you may notice that there is an empty seat here. So my co-host Stacy is not here, but I'm not concerned because I have a really great guest, and I know that you're gonna take the ball and run with it.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Fair enough. I'll do my best.
Okay, here we go. So a little football analogy there.
I like that.
Okay. So Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. So I'm a lifelong Brighton community member, born and raised, and went to Brighton High School. Have been here my entire life. Was fortunate enough to start an insurance agency in the community, and now have a family, 2 daughters. We're raising them in the same community I grew up in, so it's just a really special opportunity for us.
Nice. So let me ask you, did you play sports at all in high school?
I did. Football player, basketball player here at Brighton, and that's parlayed into I coached basketball for a period of time at the high school and still coach football. So this is season 25 for me coaching at the high school.
So we all know I don't math. So you played football at Brighton for X amount of years, and now you've been coaching. So you never left.
I never left.
Nice.
So since 1997, I have been, on a football field in Brighton come August, and we just fired back up here on Monday.
And are you going to win this year, all the games?
We always go in with that goal,
Good.
right?
Good. Gotta have goals.
We don't guarantee anything, but we're gonna do our best to represent the school and the community.
That's awesome. And I just learned something I didn't know about the basketball piece.
Yeah. So I did coach for about 7 years at the high school level in Brighton, and when Melissa, my wife, was pregnant with our first Madison, she kind of was like, hey, listen, football and basketball season, they butt up. If you're going to, we're doing the kid thing now, right? So probably need you around a little bit more than that. So at that point, made the decision to go ahead and focus on football. The amazing thing is my youngest daughter, McKenna, is big into basketball now. So now I've gotten back into basketball, helping coach her team. And so it's just been a cool kind of full circle moment where something that I was passionate about and enjoyed doing, she's found the same passion in, and we can share that. So that's been really cool.
That is really cool.
Yeah.
And I must say, and we had a little bit of this conversation before we went live, you really look good in your headset.
Hey, I appreciate it. I've worn a headset for many years, so it's not foreign to me.
Okay. Well, let's talk a little bit about your involvement with work skills, if we may. When did you first learn about work skills?
Had some connections. My wife's youngest sister had a friend who was connected to work skills, and there was a connection there. So I knew of work skills. I had no idea what work skills was, right?
You're not alone.
Exactly. We hear that a lot, right? But what ended up happening for me, and the reality is our oldest daughter does have special needs. She was born with a cerebral palsy diagnosis. And she also is on the autism spectrum, right? And so, when that happens, your awareness and things change. Like your perspective changes, everything changes, and you become more keenly aware of opportunities that are out there. So from the point that Madison was 6 months old, we had her in like occupational therapy, physical therapy, speech therapy, anything that we could do early on, right? That early intervention, we were told was very key. So through that, you your community grows,
Yeah.
right? And you start to talk to people. And then, fast forward and I'm starting to launch this business. So in like 2017, I left State Farm corporate and I started my own State Farm agency and I went into business for myself. And so the first thing I did there was like, I'm a new business owner. I don't know what I'm doing. I need to talk and connect with other business owners. So you get involved in the chambers, you talked in referral groups and things of that nature, right? And I made an amazing connection with a mutual friend of ours, Rachel Evers, right? Who very similar experience, right, with us and her daughter. And the beauty of our connection is Rachel's a little bit ahead of us, so she became somebody that we could look to and say, hey, you've done this, you're here, what resources are out there? And through that really became my awareness of work skills and what it is. And the funniest part was this referral group that I went to, the very first meeting we ever had was a tour of work skills.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So I show up at the building. I go in. I've never met any of the people in the room before. And so there's some nerves there launching a new business, but like sitting down, we sat in the boardroom. I remember coming in, you did basically a presentation of everything that was there, right? Everything we do. And it's, like you said, people just don't understand the scope, right, of all the services that are provided. And then we did the tour, and I was just blown away, right? And you fast forward, a few years later, and got the call from Rachel, right, saying, "Hey, just so you know, like you've been involved, about work skills, you've helped support it financially, like." You being involved at a different level is something that like you need to do, right?
Oh, not that you could do, but you
Right.
need to do.
Yeah.
We all know and love Rachel.
Right. And then, we connected and kind of went from there. But it's something that obviously when it hits so close to home, right? The passion for me is just seeing how work skills meets everybody where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And provides exactly what they need, right? And just allows that person to thrive in the way that they need to, right? And so for me, as we move forward, not knowing what the future holds, Madison's going to be a freshman this year at Brighton High School, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you look and you go, you know what, this is something, right, that could be in our future where work skills can help support wherever Madison chooses to go.
Mm-hmm.
And it's vitally important for both her and all those in our community, right, to have this available to them because of the wonderful work that it does.
One of the things I think is really cool is, as a parent of a child with special needs,
Mm-hmm.
you feel so alone. And, I've been there for 12 and a half years. I've met a lot of parents of our participants, and I've heard that story again and again and again. When you get the diagnosis, or when you get to the point where you're starting school, or you get to the, when you have other people in a similar situation, it's so helpful. So I like that you touched on that.
It is. And it's not right or wrong, but as you go through securing services and those things that are needed for your child, a lot of times the unintended negative to that is you spend so much time qualifying, right, and talking about all the things that they can't do, right, because whether it's an IEP or whatever, right, we have to justify X, Y, or Z,
Right.
and the thing that is so uplifting about the work that we do at Work Skills and everyone does at Work Skills is like, I feel it's like almost the inverse, like what people can do, right, is elevated and put on the stage for everyone to see, right?
I love that.
And that's what's so, like, every time I go in and you see, or we talk to participants, or we see the artwork that's being done, or whatever, like, it energizes you. I know we've talked about it all the time for you, right? Like, no matter how the day is going, right? You get in and you see the participants, and you see the pride they have in whatever they're doing, right?
Yes.
And it energizes you because we're elevating, they're elevating and showing off, all the goodness that's there, and we're not focused on what they can't do or what the limitations might be. Right?
Well, and that's one of the things that we've said often is we focus on someone's abilities, not their disabilities. And I promised the audience this was not a plant, right? But it just, like, coming from someone who came from outside to inside, and you felt that just makes me happy that we're doing the things the way we should be doing them.
100%.
Great. So, one of the reasons I wanted to have you as a guest is because, as you know, the foundation is celebrating 20 years.
Yes.
Which is kind of exciting. We started in 2005. So every year, the foundation makes a contribution to the corporation based on their needs. Like, where can we do the most good for the corporation? So this year, we are focused on Artisan Corner. For those who are watching,
plug.
There's my shameless plug for Artisan Corner. The program is so well loved by the community, by the artists. We're going to Art Prize again this year with their ginormous bottle cap Einstein piece. At least one more of our participants was accepted into Art Prize on her own. She was there last year as well. So it's very, it just makes you feel good, right? And you said it, right? You go, you talk to the artisans. They're so happy to tell you what they're doing, and they're earning money, right?
And might I add, like, what they're doing is amazing, right? As somebody who has no artistic ability at all.
Oh, come on.
No.
In my head, I just saw, like, the diagram of the football players.
Yeah.
XXX.
It's funny you say that because, like, when I draw things, right, with my kids, I would often diagram plays, and they're like, "That's not a drawing."
Can we get a marker and a piece of paper, please?
But I can't give away any secrets.
Okay.
Today.
Okay.
But I will say, it's truly amazing. Like, they're artists. Like, it's not like any type of watered down, it is, what they do is truly remarkable.
It is.
And so I think, the reason at the forefront that people are so just enamored with the Artisan's Corner is the quality of the work and the amazing work that comes out of there. And that's a credit to, to everybody involved in it.
Yeah, thank you. And you're exactly right, because a lot of people, when they hear, art by someone with a disability, they have in their mind what it might look like. And that's not what it looks like, right? I mean, these people, they have these talents that have never been tapped, right? And they get in the program and they work with Michelle and Jenny and our volunteers. All of a sudden, they see, oh, I can draw something. I can paint something. I can make jewelry, right? And everybody can do something. And so, yeah, their paintings, their jewelry, the ceramics, the resin work that we're doing is pretty cool. And the other piece to the puzzle is when someone does a painting that's approved for sublimation, their painting always sells. Not all of them live at my home. I just want to clarify that. But their painting sells, so they get money for that. Basically, we cover the cost of supplies. And then we also pay them kind of like a royalty to be able to use their image, and we can sublimate it. It's all done in-house. And everything from compacts to tumblers to desk pads, I mean, like anything, right? And that's a huge thing because it brings money into the program. which will never make money, right? It was not
Right.
set up to be self-sustaining, but it can't go away.
Right.
So the foundation is working very hard to support it this year, especially because we need the money, right?
Right.
We can't make it go away, but we need funds for supplies. So anyway, it's like $1,500 a year for the supplies and the support per artisan. And the number is kind of always fluctuating,
Right.
but there are, I don't know, 47, 48 artists.
Right.
And I'm totally not going to do that math in my head.
Right.
But every little bit helps.
It definitely does. And the impact that it has, it's almost, the reason it's so important is the artisans, right? And what they're able to achieve. But it also almost serves as the gateway, right, for people into work skills. It seems to be a jumping off point to have the conversation or to get people in for a tour to find out more about what we're doing and the impacts we're having in other areas. And at times it seems to be like the face and it's out front. And so that's, it's staying and being sustainable and us supporting it. Like, that's why it's so important.
Right.
Because it leads the way to all the other amazing things that are being done in the building.
You're exactly right. You're exactly right, because people will see somebody's something and ask about it. So then they'll learn about Artisan Corner. And yes, we do have a boutique in the headquarters, which is in an industrial court. So it's not like we get a lot of foot traffic.
Right.
But when someone learns about Artisan Corner, then the conversation takes place, and then they come in and they see the artwork and, oh, yes, we do production too. Let's go show you what's here. And getting people, families connected to services is a big part of it. So it kind of, you're right. It kind of leads the way, instead of just saying, oh, yes, we do production work here at Work Skills. Like this catches people's attention, and then they can get the services they need.
And the coolest part about going on a tour, and shameless plug, if you haven't been on a tour, schedule a tour, contact Julie, get a call, because it will change you. And the coolest thing about it is the same passion that we talk about. So when you go to Artisan Corner, you talk to the artists, right? They might come in and they're trying all these different mediums, right? And Michelle does such a great job of exposing them to that. But then you start to talk to some of them and they become really passionate about one of them, right? Like, I love doing, X, Y, or Z. When you go and you tour in the production area, the same passion is there, right? For somebody who might, really take to like the detailed task work of what that might be. Like, we walk in on a tour and all they want to do is talk to you and show you what they're doing, right?
Yeah.
And they're so passionate about it. And so you can't help but walk away and have that resonate with you, and then you're walking the halls and there are kids in there who are going some sort of therapy or something like that, and they're in the halls with the therapist, and they're so excited to be doing what they're doing. Like, it just radiates, impact,
right,
when you walk into those walls. And so, like, getting in there, going on a tour, like, you just need to do it, right? Because
I will let you know that, it's typically about an hour. I know people joke about the Gilligan's Island 3-hour tour, and it's never my fault, ever. But no, I love to show people around because it's so hard. I mean, we could do a million podcasts and talk about the many facets of Work Skills, and we've done a year's worth, and it's been a lot of fun. But until you actually come and talk to the people and see how proud they are, because they're earning a paycheck, which is important. A lot of our participants have heard, oh, well, you will never, or their parents have heard, he will never, she won't be able to, blah, blah, blah. Well, you know what? Yes, they will.
Right.
So they're proud, they have a purpose. Plus, it's a community.
Yes.
It's lunch, and the lunchroom is like any other lunchroom. They want to sit with their friends. They want to eat with their friends. And yeah, it's just kind of a cool thing.
You need to feel it, and the only way you can feel it, like tangibly feel the energy and the impact, is to be there, right? And so if you're listening and you're like, hey, I've heard a lot about it, like, you just need to get in the walls of the building,
Okay.
and you'll understand what we're talking about.
Right. And my information will be in the show notes. Call me, email me, reach out. We would love to have you visit. And it's not just Brandon and I who love the visitors. Our participants love visitors.
100%.
And I don't work in that building in the corporate headquarters in Brighton, but I'm there whenever I can be. I need a little shot in the arm. I'll be going there after the podcast today. But yeah, you need to come and see it.
Yep.
Okay, so back to my original sentence from like 3 hours ago. In honor of the 20th anniversary, we're growing our monthly giving community. Mm-hmm. So we are calling it the 20-20-20 Initiative, and that stands for at least 20 new donors donating at least $20 a month in honor of our 20th anniversary.
Right.
So we're on a roll, right? We really want to hit the goal by the end of the year, and I know you are a monthly donor.
Yep.
And the other cool thing, thank you, your generosity, you offered to match somebody else's new $20 monthly donation.
100%. 100%. So yeah, I mean, it's so important to get this rolling. Like, I feel like this is the next thing as we look as a foundation. I know I've talked about it pretty passionately as we've met. Like, this is the next thing we need to do. And the reason it's so important, right, is that monthly donation and those coming in consistently on a monthly basis allows us to budget. So we talked about Artisan Corner and the need for us to, as the foundation, to help support that because it isn't self-sustaining. Well, we have a good idea of what that budget is, even though we couldn't really remember the numbers exactly, right? But we know what that's needed, and Michelle knows exactly what they need. And if we have consistent, just like anything, right? Whether it's personal finances, you're running a business, anything, right? If you have consistent revenue in, it allows you to budget and forecast, right? When we are trying to budget and forecast and support, and everything is based off of, events and one-off donations, that becomes more difficult to forecast. And so, that's where the power in this is. So that's from the foundation side, right? On the personal side, right, you might not be in a position to, hey, I can't write a $500 check, right? But I can do a $20 donation monthly. That's something that is a lot more approachable.
We can do that math, can't we?
100%.
How much is that?
100%. We're what, 240?
Yes.
Nailed it.
Look at us go.
Right in the middle of football season. I don't have a whole lot of RAM left
so
up
impressed.
there, so you put me on the spot. But here's the challenge I made to myself, right? And the challenge I would make to others. So it's such a subscription. We're such a subscription based, community anymore. And don't get me started, right? Everyone was like, cut the cord and get streaming services. And now we all have 12 streaming services and we don't know we're paying for half of them. And who knows? We haven't added up how much we're paying, so we're probably paying more than we did before, right?
Right. You get that auto renewal, and it's like, oh darn, I meant to cancel that. Am I still paying for that?
Right. So I'm gonna be probably the worst, accountant you've ever had. But take a look, and here's the deal. I guarantee you have something out there that you're like, I didn't know that I was still paying for this.
Wait, are you talking to me personally, or
you
our
personally
listeners
right now,
as well?
And the listeners as well.
Oh,
right?
I feel like the coach. I'm going to rip my headphones off and walk away.
But all kidding aside, look at that. I guarantee in there somewhere, there's somewhere around $20 that you're spending on some service that you haven't used in years. I'm not, let's not find a new $20, right? Let's reallocate that 20 to something that's making an impact in this community for people in this community that need it, right? And if everyone who's listening to this does that, right, we'll blow the 20 donors out of the water,
Yeah.
right? And then we have, the consistency for the budgeting aspect of things, but we're also, taking that $20 and the impact that it's going to have compared to, it going to who knows what, right? The gym you belonged to 4 years ago that you forgot that you're still paying for, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's the reality of what we have. And so I'll just challenge people, like, take a look. And if there's $20 in there that you can reallocate, there is no better place that you could send it to than Work Skills.
Thank you. That's very nice. And I will tell you, our first monthly donor started in, I think, 2017.
Okay.
And I did talk to her. She was not at all interested in being on a podcast, and I will not name her name, but she has been a monthly donor for 8 years.
Mm-hmm.
And her gift has gone up, it has gone down, but she consistently has given.
Right.
We have another one who is the mom of one of our participants who passed away a few years ago. Since that time, he was their only son. So they moved to Florida, and she and her husband were monthly donors, right? I mean, that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
Monthly donors. And then they had some life changes, ended up moving to Missouri, and she said, I have to take a break, but I will come back. And so when she re-enlisted as a monthly donor, they're now giving $100 a month.
That's amazing.
It is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a wonderful conversation with her on the phone about the why and the how. And she said, you changed our lives. You changed Randy's life. I'm never going to not support. And she and her husband are retired. It's not like they're bazillionaires, right? But this is important to them.
Right.
So the cool thing is you can do it online, right? So you can go right to the website, wskillsfoundation.org, click on that big green donate button, and there is an option to make it a monthly donation, right? So you can choose whatever amount you would like to contribute, and you kind of set it and forget it.
Right.
Not that we want you to set it and forget it and have Work Skills be one of those things that you realize 5 years from now that you're still making a contribution to, but it would be worth it. Like, it's super easy.
Hey, if we're going to forget about something that we're sending money to, right, something that's making an impact on people's lives, like, that's probably better than XYZ,
Okay, thank you.
subscription. I'll say it. I'll put it out there.
You can, because you're speaking right? This is
Right.
not scripted. Please read the cue cards up here.
100%. And we've, we've lived it. And what I'll say is, like, sometimes it's just the confidence. It's just somebody saying to, one of our participants, or even, Madison, my daughter, like, no, you can do this, right? And breathing that confidence into them, that takes them to, to the next level. So, like, a quick story with Madison, like, Madison, when we got the diagnosis, they were like, again, it was cerebral palsy and autism. So they were like, we don't know if she's going to walk, talk, any of that. So, like, here you are, 6 months, you got a 6-month-old, and you don't know what direction it's going to go, right?
And you're new parents,
And
right? She was your first baby.
So, there's a lot that goes through. Like, there are some long nights and, some things as you're just trying to navigate that, right, and figure it out. But like I said, the early intervention in the therapies, right, were tremendous. And now, even something like equine therapy, right? She got involved with that, and it ignited a passion in her for horses. Like, she loves horses. And now, This year she's going to be on the Brighton High School equestrian team, so like she's going to ride and she's going to do that. And so like, it's for her, it's that, right? For others, it's, the art or, the work that they're doing there, or it's something completely different that we haven't touched on. But the reality is the genesis of that often starts with just a spark of gaining confidence in something that could be as menial as to us, right? As being able to handle a break in routine. So like, I know Madison is very routine oriented, and it's something we continue to work on, where if a routine gets broken, right, it can oftentimes throw her for a loop. And that's not uncommon for somebody on the spectrum. But somebody working with them through whatever means it is and say, hey, I know this was supposed to happen today, but now this is happening. Or I know, it's something as simple as like, we're not going to take lunch at noon. We're going to have to take it a little bit later. That, and being able to overcome that, opens a door of like, hey, I'm more adaptable now. Yep. And because I'm more adaptable, I'm willing to try something else. And then I find my passion in that. So like, those are the things that aren't some defined program that happens, with our participants. Right. Those are the things that happen as you talk to the people that work with them on a daily basis. Like, they'll tell you story after story after story of like, when we first started doing this, this participant was here and now they're here and it's amazing. And that's what, the foundation is able to support, to make sure those breakthrough moments continue to happen.
Exactly. And it's so funny because when you were talking, I was thinking of Howard, who, is the service coordinator, whatever his title is now. He's been there for close to 40 years, and he kind of case manages the participants. And he has said that over and over again, right? This is Susie, and when she first started, she would do 5 of these, and if we told her we're going to move you from this job to that job, it would be a real challenge for her.
Right.
But now she can do 6 jobs, right? So I appreciate you saying that, because there's so much more to what we do.
Yes.
Than a paycheck.
100%.
Okay. Is there anything else that you would like to share? You want to talk about football season or what you're going to be for Halloween? Anything coming up? Yeah,
I mean, it's just an exciting time of year, right? For me, like, I love fall. I love, obviously, football season. It seems like it's a community, like it brings the community together, right? Friday nights, all that stuff is really cool. And I think, as I think to the end of the year, there's often, things that, whether it's business that people are trying to accomplish and hit those goals for the end of the year, us at the foundation and what we're trying to accomplish, everyone really is driven, right, to like, hey, let's get this thing done right now. So that it just feels like, as we get into fall, we kind of turn the corner from summer, even though we don't want summer to go away, right? Like we don't want summer to go away. It can be a little cooler.
Yeah, no kidding. Less humid would be okay.
Right? But like, there's also kind of an excitement about like, hey, we're going to check some of those boxes, and we're going to hit some of those goals, and we're going to be able to celebrate what we were able to accomplish in 2025.
Yeah.
And these next few months are going to lead us there. And so like, that always brings me energy. And then, at the end of the year, you've got all the holidays and all the time with family and friends to kind of celebrate. So, we've got some work to do, right? With the foundation, we've got some goals that we're looking to accomplish. We've set out there the 2020, and we need you to, everyone who's listening and members of the community to help us achieve that. But like, there are great things on the horizon, and I think this is going to, kind of be the genesis of that for us.
Perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think I mentioned you are on the board, so you are currently the vice chair of the
Vice chair,
board. I think
correct.
you've been
Yep.
on the board 3 years.
This is year 4.
Year 4.
I just you guys renewed me and brought me back. So
I think that you were elected by your peers.
oh, fair enough. Fair enough.
But I do appreciate you on the board. You know, we have a 9-member board, and it's a really good group of people who are basically there because they want to do the right thing for the participants. And so I thank you for that, for being a part of that. And I think that is going to be it for us this month. And this month is actually August. If you're watching this in January and wondering why we're talking about fall, we just, time is whatever we want it to be. Anyway, thank you for joining us on our Better Together podcast. Again, I am Julie. I want to thank my special guest, Brandon.
Thank you.
And to those who are watching and or listening, please, 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 if you have not been to Work Skills for a tour, find me. Come for a visit. Come and meet the cool kids, as we like to call them. And thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.